Why do brides wear white? The tradition of wearing white on your big day has been around for centuries. But why did these women choose to wear this particular color? Well, let's find out. Hi everyone. Welcome to our channel where we bring you the craziest and weirdest facts from human history. Some of the things discussed in this video may be offensive or disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Why do brides wear white? The tradition of wearing white on one's wedding day can be traced back to the 19th century when Queen Victoria set the trend. But before Queen Victoria came along, there was no particular color that was considered to be the best for a wedding dress. In fact, most wedding dresses were usually colorful and very fancy. Women would wear their finest gown for their wedding ceremony because it was a chance to show off their wealth. For example, Marie Antoinette, the famous French queen, wore a beautiful gown with a large hoop skirt for her wedding. The dress was made of fine white linen and was decorated with golden lace and jewelry. So why did the whole wearing white thing start? What made Queen Victoria choose white over all other colors? And how did this choice become a tradition that is still followed by many brides today? Let's find out. The wedding of the century. Queen Victoria was the longest reigning British monarch until Queen Elizabeth II surpassed her record in September 2015. During her reign, she modernized many aspects of the British monarchy, including the way royal weddings were conducted. Victoria's wedding to Prince Albert of Saxony, Coburg and Gotha took place at St. Michael and St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle on February 10, 1840. The event was a grand affair, attended by 1,500 guests. Many of them had traveled from all over Europe to attend the wedding of the century. At the time, royal weddings were lavish affairs that were meant to display the wealth and power of the monarchy. The bride would typically wear her finest gown, often made of silk or satin and adorned with jewels and lace. However, Victoria wanted to do something different for her big day. She chose to wear a simple but elegant white satin gown with a minimal amount of lace and jewelry. This was a departure from the more is more mentality that had been the norm up until that point. And it was also a very personal choice for Victoria. White was her favorite color, and she felt that it symbolized purity, innocence, and new beginnings. The wedding gown that she chose was designed by her close friend and confidant, Lady Flora Hastings. The gown was made of the finest materials and was cut in the latest fashion. It featured a low-cut neckline, long sleeves, and a full skirt. The train was particularly long and was said to be over 18 feet in length. Victoria insisted on having the train specially designed so that it could be easily managed and would not get in her way during the ceremony. In addition to the gown, Victoria also chose a simple white veil to cover her face. This was another break from tradition, as veils were usually reserved for widows or for brides who were marrying in the church. Victoria's decision to wear a white gown and veil sent ripples throughout the country and soon became the talk of the town. People were fascinated by the choice, and many wondered why she had decided to go against tradition. Victoria was not one to shy away from the spotlight, and she took full advantage of the attention that her wedding dress was receiving. She was seen wearing the gown in public on several occasions following the wedding, and she even had it displayed at the London International Exhibition of 1851. This only served to make the dress more famous and cemented Victoria's place in wedding history. The legacy of the white wedding gown. After Victoria's wedding, more and more brides began to opt for white gowns. At first, this was mainly limited to the upper classes who could afford such a luxurious item. However, as the years went on, white gowns became more and more popular among brides of all social classes. By the early 20th century, the white wedding gown had become the norm in the United States and many other parts of the world. Today, it is estimated that 80 to 90% of brides wear white on their wedding day. And while there are many reasons for this, Queen Victoria's influence is definitely one of them. So why did Queen Victoria start this trend? Well, there are a few theories. One theory is that Victoria was influenced by the writings of Sir Walter Scott. Scott was a popular novelist in the 1800s, and he often wrote about weddings in his books. In one of his novels, he describes a bride wearing a white gown, and this may have inspired Victoria to choose the same for her own wedding. Another theory is that Victoria was simply drawn to the color white. White was her favorite color, and she felt that it symbolized purity, innocence, and new beginnings. These are all qualities that a bride hopes to embody on her wedding day, and it's just easy to see why Victoria's choice of gown resonated with so many women. Finally, there is the theory that Victoria's choice of gown was a political statement. At the time, there was a growing movement for women's rights, and Victoria may have been trying to make a statement by choosing to wear a simple, elegant gown instead of the more is more look that was in fashion. Whatever the reason, Queen Victoria's choice of gown had a lasting impact on the tradition of brides wearing white. And it is likely that this trend will continue for many years to come. But what did people wear before the white dress? Before the white wedding dress became the norm, brides wore a variety of colors, including pink, blue, yellow, and even green. In fact, there was no particular color that was considered to be the best for a wedding dress. The most important thing was that the dress was beautiful and showed off the bride's wealth and status. For example, in the Ottoman Empire, brides wore elaborate gowns that were decorated with gold and silver thread. In China, brides wore red dresses because red is the color of happiness and good luck. In India, brides traditionally wear a red or orange sari on their wedding day. And in some African cultures, brides wear white to symbolize purity and unity with their partner. Interestingly, the first person to popularize the idea of a white wedding gown was not Queen Victoria, but rather an American writer named Sophie de Gur. In her 1836 novel The Scottish Galavidian, de Gur describes a bride wearing a white gown and veil. However, it was Victoria's choice of gown that really set the trend in motion. What do you think of the white wedding dress trend? Is it something that you would like to follow? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're planning your own wedding, do you plan to wear a white dress or a dress of another color? We would love to hear about your plans. It should be noted that not all brides choose to wear white on their wedding day. In some cultures, other colors are seen as more auspicious. For example, in India, brides often wear red or orange, as mentioned earlier, and in China, brides typically wear red dresses as well. As the world becomes more globalized and people are exposed to different cultures, we are seeing a wider variety of colors being worn by brides on their special day. Some brides may choose to wear a white dress because it is the traditional color in their own culture, while others may opt for a different color because they are marrying someone from a different culture and want to pay respect to their traditions. Ultimately, the decision of what color to wear is up to the bride, and there is no right or wrong answer. Some people may argue that the white wedding dress is outdated and that brides should feel free to wear whatever color they like on their special day. Others may argue that the tradition of wearing white is still very much alive and well, and that it is a beautiful and meaningful tradition that should be continued. Ultimately, this is a matter of personal preference, and there is no right or wrong answer. Conclusion: so why do brides wear white? The tradition of brides wearing white on their wedding day can be traced back to Queen Victoria, who set the trend back in 1840. Her choice of a simple but elegant white gown and veil for her wedding to Prince Albert was a departure from the more is more mentality that had been the norm up until that point. Victoria's choice of gown had a lasting impact on the tradition of brides wearing white, and it is likely that this trend will continue for many years to come. What do you guys think about the tradition of wearing white on your big day? Is it something that you would like to follow, or do you prefer other colors? Let us know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave us a thumbs up. Also, be sure to stay tuned for more amazing videos like this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.